So, on today's episode, we have a very exciting guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Nate DiRuzza,
How are
an
you today?
artist here in Nashville. I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into the music industry?
Sure. Let's see. Uh, Started writing songs, and they were gibberish songs when I was like 4 years old, and then picked up the guitar in high school and started writing songs with the guitar. And then I got obsessed with guitar, so I started really concentrating on that, and ended up going to college and performing around town and for the campus and everything, and got into motivational speaking after I was done with college with like an acoustic concert for elementary, middle schools, and high schools for about 5 or 6 years. And then 2016, I moved to Nashville and got a second degree at Belmont University here in Nashville, and in songwriting. And now I write for a publisher, and I have a PR company who helps promote me, and I'm on my fourth album that's due January 31st. So that's my whole life story right there.
Very cool. So, I am often curious when talking to musicians to find out the inspiration, if you have one, of a band or a person in general that maybe helped inspire you to do what you want to do.
When I was younger, I think it started with the Backstreet Boys. I would just like sit in the back of the minivan and close my eyes with my little headphones on and pretend that I was Nick Carter. And then, let's see. Well, actually, it started in first grade. I got to play Elvis in a school play. And so I wrote Elvis DiRuzza on all my homework papers. And then, like, later on, like, when I picked up the guitar, I was, like, really into classic rock, Zeppelin and AC/DC, and the Eagles, of course. And I got this book from my parents for Christmas one year called Jam with the Eagles. And I learned every Eagles song in that book: Best of My Love, Hotel California, Tequila Sunrise, Lion Eyes, all of them. And then in college, I really got into Jack Johnson and John Mayer and Dave Matthews, and started learning all of their stuff while I was writing songs. So all of those influences kind of bled into my style, and just kind of honed in on my style along the way. And, I think every album has shown a little bit more progression of dialing into me rather than trying to be like someone else, So now that I'm older and on my fourth album, it sounds more distinct, like that's my style with a little influences, rather than those styles sound really similar to those other artists.
Very cool. So, tell me about what goes into creating a song, and then, of course, creating all the songs that you've done to the fourth album. I mean, is it a process where you start with lyrics, or would you start with the music first, or is it depend on what's going on?
It depends on what's going on, I guess. It's different every time for me. There is sometimes when I'll dream of a melody, like a guitar melody, and then I'll wake up and I'll grab my guitar and be like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. And I'll figure it out because I have that in my head. And then I'll write some sort of guitar melody and then put lyrics over top of it. And then there are times when I don't have my guitar with me, and I come up with this, like, and she turns and sings to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I have these lyrics in my head and this like melody, and then I have to go and put the guitar to that. So it's kind of different every time for me. Or I'll have like an idea of I just, my recent song I just wrote, it's not on the album because I've already recorded the album. It's called Dream of You. And I just had this idea that, like, dang, I dream of you, that I don't want to dream of you. And I try to hone in on what kind of hook do I need for this? That's not like, you see the title Dream of You and everybody kind of expects, oh, this is a lovey-dovey song, I dream of you and blah, 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 blah. But how do I twist that to where they don't expect what's coming? And it's like, I don't want to dream of you. I want you not to dream of you. So I kind of try to twist it so that's something that they're not going to expect in the song. So yeah.
So, in regards to creating an album, would you say that in making the songs for the album that there's a lot of, in some of them, a lot of real life situation?
Yeah, pretty much 100%, 99%. When I do co-writes and things like that, we'll come up with all the songs that I write by myself are definitely real life experience. I don't make anything up. And in the co-writes, I put, like, if we have an idea of something, for instance, my friend Ed came up with a theme, secondhand kiss. How do we write secondhand kiss? So I take what's going on in my life or what's happened before in my life, with feeling like I'm her option B, and she's gonna call me and she's gonna go out with me, but I'm kind of her option B, and so I'm her secondhand kiss, and I put my feelings into that song, whereas and he's coming up with lyrics as well from his perspective of things. So the song in my mind feels exactly how I have felt in a certain situation. But it wasn't written completely from me sitting down and writing about a certain situation that happened to me specifically.
Gotcha. So, in the newest album that you've had, that you're dropping coming up soon, is it still a lot of fun to create music and kind of pick and choose what you're able to do?
Yeah. So with this album, I sent the producers. I had two producers on it, Dan Hodges and Jamie Tate, who are both like really well-known people in Nashville. And they're big time, to me. They've been in the industry for over 30 years, and they have Grammys and they have number ones and they have all this, this clout. And so I said, you know what, you guys, I trust you and I want you, but I want to remain me. So here's 35 songs, and album's going to have 11 songs on it. Pick the 11. And they kind of saw a pattern, and I think they wanted it. They said, okay, here are the songs. There's got to be some hits, structured kind of hits on the album. And there also has to be a little bit of like something different on there. But the theme all kind of turned out to be like love and heartbreak and, relationship kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll be the Romeo. Yeah, sure. And so I kind of just took on that role. And the album is like all about falling in love, and The One is what the album is called. It comes out January 31st, and it was so fun to record this not knowing what we were going for. And then they mix it in analog, and they want it stripped down. They don't want like so many instruments in it, so it's really concentrated on my voice and my guitar. And so it kind of sounded to me like it was something from the 70s, had a 70s vibe to it. So I said, okay. Then I grew out my hair to play the 70s part, and decided to play like the Romeo. And I put all of the songs in order. And so I kind of wrote the album during a situation that I was in with a girl, and wrote the album as a brand new song almost, so that it goes in order of falling in love with someone, and you're her secondhand kiss, and dang, you wish you could be heartless like she is. And, you know, the last song is I'm done chasing chances with you. I'm done chasing chances with the one. So it kind of just all developed in a process that I didn't even know was really going to happen.
And, you know, it sounds like that you're having a lot of fun doing it, and that it's a passion. And, you know, like most things in life, if you are doing it as a passion and it's something that you enjoy, it's not work.
No. I mean, there is some work that's involved with it, hard work, like that I don't really care for, like the computer stuff. You know, like getting on and like having to post on TikTok every day. Like some of it's fun, but some of it's like a lot of work, and then you get only a certain number of views on all that work you did, and dang, you got to wake up the next morning and do it again, and hopefully that one will get a lot of views. And it's just, there's a lot of work that's involved that's not fun, but overall, I just don't want to do anything else. If that's called work, I'll do it, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical 9-to-5er. You know, it's something that they're just looking from the outside, that, you know, you're super passionate about what you do. And of course, with any kind of job, there's going to be that certain aspect that not necessarily is the most fun thing to do, but overall it sounds like it is a fun job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, as far as things to come, what do you think is next for you after this album?
I've learned to set small goals. That keeps my sanity. So, you know, thinking, okay, I really need to get to the Ryman Auditorium and perform there, and then need to get to arenas and perform in arenas. And, you know, like, hold on. You know, we're not there yet. So the next goal is keep promoting the songs, keep your Spotify growth, and keep pitching this to my music industry contacts, maybe try to get a publishing deal as a songwriter. And if the artist thing comes, just let it all come, you know, as it comes. So I think the next small goal that I have is get this album pressed in vinyl, because I want to release it as vinyl, because it's kind of a 70s vibe type of album, and it would be so cool to have like that artwork on a vinyl record. And, you know, even if people don't have the vinyl player, they can have it, you know, as a souvenir or something like that. And just vinyl's so cool because it's just got the lyrics inside of it and everything like that. And then also another music video. I have an idea. I brainstorm a lot for these music videos, and I have like an idea of what I want for the next one. And I just kind of brainstorm for a while, and then when I'm ready, I contact the videographers, directors, and I tell them, I pitch them my idea, and then we kind of collaborate on it and take it kind of the way I want it, and they put in their 2 cents about it. So those are my next 2 goals, is vinyl and another music video, and just keep promoting these songs. And then after that, we'll see what happens.
Right. And, you know, with in regards to vinyl, it's making a comeback. And vinyl, I feel, because I have a couple different record players with 8 tracks on it. I just think that vinyl in general gives it such a different sound than it would if it were CD or like everything now is digital.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you think about it, like we can get so technical about all the audio stuff, and I learned a lot of this stuff in school. And it's like if you've got the vinyl and that needle hitting the grooves on that record with a wire that's going to the speaker, you're getting this sound that if you have, you're not getting the needle in the grooves if you have Spotify. And you're not getting the wire if you have Bluetooth, and you're not getting, so like I have a record that I listen to on Spotify, and I'll Bluetooth it on my speakers that I have. I have like some pretty nice speakers, and then I got the vinyl of that record for Christmas, and I put the vinyl on, and whoa, there's some missing information. There are some sounds that I'm like, oh my gosh, that little chime that's in that song. I never heard that chime. It shows through so much better in the vinyl because there's some missing information when it keeps getting compressed over and over and over again. So I'm like, I can't wait to create my own vinyl so that I can just listen to it myself and hear all those little details.
Yeah, I kind of compare it to, if you watch a video that's online that's been seen millions and millions of times, it seems like the quality of it goes down just a little bit. But like, it would be like seeing something recorded versus seeing something live. I mean, there is a difference.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
And it's absolutely crazy. I love the fact that you're wanting to release it on vinyl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping like by spring that I'll have a product in my hand. So get it done and keep pushing for it. Because you have to get it remastered. You have to get it specifically mastered for vinyl. And you have to like find the right person to do that. And then you have to get it pressed in vinyl by the right company, because there's a lot of companies that are just going to, create a product that's not going to be as professional as the one company is. So,
yeah. And, it's great to meet people like you that love what they do and are able to create things that us as fans can gravitate to and relate to. And, it's one of those industries that even the people at the top, I don't think get the kind of recognition that they should, because a lot goes into what you do, and there's a lot of work in it. And then you've got to, on top of creating new stuff, keep the old stuff going, and then go and do concerts if you do concerts and things like that. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it sure is. But it's fun.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You got to love it.
You have to love it. I was talking to I was in another interview the other day, and then he was asking me about the work and everything like that, and what advice I would give to young artists. And I brought up the fact that there's a lot of people that ask me for advice on guitar. And like, I think my number one thing, and it might sound kind of harsh, but it's like, if you aren't obsessed with it, pick something else. Because if you want to be like a great guitar player, you kind of gotta, you gotta love it so much that you can't wait to play that thing when you get home from school or whatever. You can't just like force yourself to do it. You gotta love it. You gotta be obsessed with it and just like kind of bleed it. Like LeBron James is good at basketball because he's obsessed with it,
Right.
That's all he thinks about.
Yeah, and it's like anything you want to be successful at, regardless of what it is. If you don't put 100% effort into what you're doing, you're not going to achieve your goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do have kind of a different type of question for you. I've not asked another musician. If you could perform with anybody from any time, past or present, is there someone that you would love to have the opportunity to perform with?
Dave Matthews.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. He's been an influence on my music for, oh gosh, since probably like 2007 or 8. I kind of found out about him in high school, and which was before that, and his music just kind of sounded weird to me. And then it just like little by little, it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And the Dave Matthews Band, like, they're so, like, a lot of people that are obsessed with the Dave Matthews Band is because they kept hearing it and their brains figured out how musically inclined they are, you know. And it's pleasant to my ears because it's not the same structure that you hear on the radio. You know, there's a lot of unexpected twists and turns to the music that's just, you know, it's pleasing to my ears.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm old enough to remember when they came out in the 90s, and you know, they just had a different sound.
Mm-hmm.
And even up into the 2000s, their sound, the instruments they used kind of evolved a little bit, but the sound stayed the same just about.
Mm-hmm. The musicianship. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Just kind of like weird lyrics sometimes. You're like, what in the heck are you talking about? But, you know, which I used to write like that. I used to write these lyrics that were like, only I understand. Nobody else really understands what I'm talking about. But then I kind of moved to Nashville. I fell into the, like, you know, I want to keep that cleverness, but I also, my thing is I want somebody to understand what I'm talking about the first time I listen to it. So I've fell into the, let's structure this with that chorus that hits and that hook that hits. Keep the cleverness, but I guess like that's what's going to set me apart from my influences, like the Dave Matthews Band, for instance, is I want it to be understandable, which not all of Dave's stuff is not understandable, but you know what I'm talking about with, like, there's some weird lyrics there that you're just kind of like, I don't know if anybody knows what you're talking about. It's awesome.
Exactly. So I know, I think I found you through, I found you on Instagram, but where can people find you on social media to kind of see what you're up to and see what's next?
Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and I don't really do the Twitter thing all that much. I mean, I have that automatic Instagram share on Twitter thing on, but I think the last time I checked Twitter was maybe a month ago. So, but yeah, it's Nate DiRuzza. You know, if you type in Nate DIR, pretty sure I come up. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me. It's been a lot of fun, kind of picking your brain on how things have gone for you and the journey that you've taken, that you're still on. And, you know, it looks like you enjoy what you do, and that's an always positive thing to have.
Yep, for sure. Thanks so much for having me, Josh.
Absolutely. I hope you have a good rest of the afternoon.
You too.